We always hope that whatever treatments we're going to be able to offer are going to impact the young lives that we're entrusted with. But it's not every day that we're able to make as much of a difference for a young lady as we were for Gianna. Dystonia is actually the third most common movement disorder behind Parkinson's disease and essential tremor. It's a frequent cause of chronic pain for the kids that it affects. For Gianna, the day came where she was tired of dealing with the disability that she was experiencing every day, and she wanted something better for herself.
How are you guys?
Good.
When I first met you, you were using a wheelchair to go distances. And I asked you to hold your hands out in front of you, and it was hard for you to do that. Your arm and your hand got pulled off to one side. The dystonia in your body, it was just something you were fighting against all the time. We really had high hopes for the surgery, but just how well you responded was beyond what I had even hoped for.
The remarkable thing about the current technology with deep brain stimulation is that once the device is placed and the skin heals up, we now have this indwelling device, these electrodes that are placed deep within the patient's brain. And that allows us to listen in and to observe and record the patient's brainwaves painlessly while they're just sitting and chatting with us in clinic. And so we're learning remarkable things about the brain and how the signals in the brain go wrong in the case of dystonia and other movement disorders, just by listening in and analyzing the data that we're getting from our patients.
What we're going to do next is we're just going to use this wand. I'm going to have you hold it over the DBS computer. This is a kind of a cartoon version of the leads of the electrodes that are present in the deep part of your brain that controls movement. But basically, what we're doing with all this technology is pretty simple. We're creating a bubble of electricity, and that bubble of electricity is just helping your brain waves to fire more normally. So just hitting a button on the iPad, like we have to do in order to read the brain waves, just for a moment, it'll pause the DBS. And so pausing the DBS just for those few seconds turns it off. And this is the part where you might feel a little something, I know. This always feels a little weird. But this is talking to the device. So you can see the dystonia coming up a little bit there because it briefly turns it off. It's pretty remarkable, but that tells us that her body, her brain still needs the DBS in order to be able to quiet those signals and be able to normalize the brain waves.
It feels weird, like when he turns it off because it goes back to normal. Or not, yeah.
Doesn't go back to as bad as it was, but kind of reminds you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tell you what, should we have you walk?
She doesn't use anything, any type of device to help her walk. She's outside more often now with her friends. I'm just speechless. Like, it's a wish come true.
Here at Phoenix Children's, we are leading several different efforts nationwide and worldwide to better understand how best to use DBS technology. So it's not only about doing the surgery itself, but it's about knowing what to do with this remarkable device once it gets placed. Without the support for remarkable people that can analyze that data, there's only so much we can do. And so that's where donors come in, that's where philanthropy comes in. I'm very grateful to Gianna and her family because by allowing us to use her brainwaves, we're actually already starting to use that information to help other children.